Hi there, I'm Tara Weil. Hi. I'm here today to discuss about a scholarly article that I read in the American Psychology Association. And this article's title is A Perspective Study of Adolescent Non-Medical Use of Anxiolytic and Sleep Medication in Adolescents. To answer the question of the topic of the week, are we over-medicating anxiety sensitivity and anxiety disorders? First, I'd like to talk about what anxiolytic medication is and what it does. Anxiolytic is a medication that's sometimes called an anxiety medication or drug or sedative used to treat anxiety disorders and sometimes seizures. In this study, we took a look at 3 groups. One group were adolescents that had never been prescribed with either medication. Number two, the second group were individuals who had been prescribed with an anxiolytic medication, but not a sleep medication. And the third were prescribed both an anxiolytic medication as well as a sleeping medication. Excuse me. Over the past decade, there has been an upward trend in prescribing of controlled substances, anxiolytic, sleep medication in the United States. So let's talk about how anxiolytic works within our body. Anxiolytic works by influencing neurotransmitters in the brain and utilizing GABA involved in regulating mood and reducing anxiety. This study uses a subsample from a larger mixed method from the National Institute on Drug Abuse funded studies. So the method that they used was a web-based secondary student life survey from children in Detroit public school systems, secondary school system, but public school systems. And there were 3 points between December and April for 3 consecutive academic years where they took a look at whether adolescents were misusing these medications. So the time number 1, the results were 89.1% that adolescents were abusing. And then time 2, 91% were proven to be using or misusing the anxiolytic and sleep medications. And then time 3 was the final sample. And that final sample of a total of 9% resulted with the data that 50.5% of girls were known to abuse anxiolytic and sleeping medications. And that 65.4% white Caucasian girls were using and abusing or misusing anxiolytic and sleep medication. The University of Michigan Institute Review Board approved the study, and a certificate of confidentiality was obtained from the National Institute of Health for these purposes. My critical reflection is that personally, I believe that adolescents should not be prescribed with anxiolytic medications or sleep medications, just due to the possibility of misuse, which could lead to death or possibly addiction. So I believe that this study is an example of that explains the topic of our question: are we medicating for anxiety, over medicating for anxiety today. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day.